3, 2, 1. Bon dia, Barcelona. We are here live with my friends Gemma and Esther. Gemma Llorca, Esther Martínez. We're going to be talking about the challenges of looking for a job in the international community, some of the myths, some of the tricks, and some of your experiences. And Gemma and Esther, if I'd like to remind people very quickly that the Metropolitan Magazine has been here for 27 years, and we like to capture the stories of people who have chosen to move to Barcelona and make it their home. But we also have a big following of people who are locals, Catalans, Spanish, or Catalanas, and Spanish women who live here but have international experience and are very much in touch with this community in which the Metropolitan moves. And, you know, looking for a job is something that's near and dear to the hearts of everybody, you know, expats and locals. But sometimes we don't always hear the stories of people who are locally based and, you know, have their own experiences that add value to our collective experience as expats here. And so I'm really happy that you guys are here to talk today about this very sensitive subject. And I know you're very passionate about it. Would you mind introducing yourselves, you know, very quickly? Can we start with Gemma? Can you go first? And then we'll ask Esther.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you very much. I am so glad to be with you this morning. And okay, my name is Gemma. I am local from Barcelona, and I am passionate about communication and connecting people. Always, I have been working as a customer service and sales rep, working in a multinational companies in chemical and pharmaceutical areas. And at the moment, I am passionately about artificial intelligence. Okay, and I'm looking for a customer service and sales positions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Esther.
Yeah, so hi, international community. Thanks for having me here today. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Esther. I'm a local from here, Barcelona, and I'm currently unemployed. Not sure if I'm overqualified, which is what we're talking about today, but I'm sure I'm qualified. I can speak fluently Spanish, Catalan, English, and French. I have over 20 years experience across multiple industries using social skills in hospitality, legal, telecoms, medical. And I love working internationally from Barcelona. So I'm looking for a sales and marketing position where I can use my experience and passion for learning. I want to underline that, passion for learning, to enable growth for the company I choose, a company with offices in Barcelona. That's where I'm looking for.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for those very brief but very insightful introductions into who you are so people can identify and relate to you. One of the first questions I think we wanted to address, or first themes, has to do regarding inclusivity, and in particular, fake inclusivity, and fake inclusivity culture, and, you know, roadblocks for people who are 45 and over, what the implications are for the ability to find a job. So, Gemma, would you mind starting to talk about this?
Yes, absolutely. Right now, I am actively looking for a new job, like also and chasing my skills with the latest technologies like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and it's a thrilling journey. However, I face a common challenge in the job market that affects both men and women. And it's that when you are over or near 45 years old here in Spain, you are deaf. If we are talking about your job career, okay, and in front of some offers on when you are in an interview, sometimes they told you that you are overqualified or your CV is better than your possibility base, and you feel so stop it. You don't have words to say, okay, you have in front of you my CV, and you know all this information before we have an interview, and what that is mean, no? And for me, it's very beautiful to see we are inclusive, but at the end, when we are in front of interviews, we can see that sometimes will be only words and not facts, no? And this is a situation that affects more women than men here in Spain. In the latest figures that the National Institute of Statistics here in Spain gave us for the last quarter, the women have more problems to get to achieve a new employed, more than 3 points than a man. And it's a pity situation. I think it's in all the world, but we have to explain that to the others and talk sincerely about what happens in the current job market.
Okay, so it's not a surprise to hear that women have a harder time getting employed when they're competing with male counterparts that are as or even sometimes less qualified than the woman for the same role. That's something that we can talk about all day long. It's very frustrating. Esther, would you like to comment on this?
Sure. The thing is that I'm a dreamer, so it's very good that we're having this interview. It's very good to realize that this can happen, but also I'm seeing that there are more and more top companies that are really, it's not just on paper that they are saying that we're inclusive and they are doing efforts. And I think that we can change the world. So it's important to start with interviews like this one and realize that it's not normal and it cannot be normalized. And if we go to an interview, we have to be sure that it's good to have women and men if we want in higher roles, and have be inclusive from the school till we learn, and we all get old, so we are interested, all of us, in this inclusive culture.
Okay. Well, I put out a poll on LinkedIn. I had a very fast response with a lot of people opining, and whether or not, when you are told that you are overqualified for a position, whether the people are being honest with you or not. And the majority of the people felt that that was not the real case. There were other reasons that you didn't get the job. Maybe not a probable fit. Maybe they think you're going to quit too quickly, that because of maybe you have more skills than that position might require. But on many cases, somebody may have had a lot of experience and now wants to relax. With that experience comes responsibility. You may have to work 80 hours a week, and now you don't want to do that. So you're happy to take a position that is perhaps less demanding, but still you want to balance that with your life. You want to be with your family. You want to not be under so much stress, so you have mental health. And somehow being overqualified penalizes you, or being very qualified or highly qualified penalizes you for a job that you're willing to accept, that is less demanding. And one of the things that we were talking about, Esther, for very briefly, was this issue, or not this issue, the theme of hybrid roles and flexibility at work, quality hours in Spain, and so forth. I'd like to jump into that. If you don't mind talking about that, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So about that point, I replied to your poll, and I think that sometimes when they say you're overqualified, is that they cannot meet your salary expectations. That's something that in the end it's like. So I didn't comment on that. I mentioned job ageism, but I think there's a little bit of that. And about what I'm looking.
On that subject, I remember I don't think I've had a job. I haven't had nomina maybe in this century. So I've been working on my own. But I remember when I first moved to Spain, I had a job in New York. I was very young, and I was getting paid, 5 times what people who had 10 years experience more than me had here in Spain. And so I understood the issue of job, the salary expectations might not be the same, but even I was okay to make a huge decline and adjust my expectations to the market. But then you would take all these, you would announce this, or I would let people know about this in advance, and then they have you do the what do you call these things? Technical evaluations, and they have you do audits, and they make you take some tests to make sure that you're qualified for the position. You've invested a week of your time only to be told at the end that you're overqualified. We knew this already. What a freaking waste of time this was. Anyway, let's get back to the other question. Hybrid roles and flexibility at work. Let's talk about this and how you guys experience this.
Yeah, the quality hours in Spain, that's the difference we have with international roles, is that in Spain we say that people need to calentar el asiento, which would be like warming the seat, or it's clock watching, and it's the hours. No? You get here at 9 and you work until 6 p.m. and that's like what's important, being there when someone needs you. But I've been working for international, American companies for over half of my career, and I've seen hybrid roles, I've seen flexibility. I think that makes work-life balance, happiness, well-being, increases creativity, and that's what I'm looking for. I think it's so important that companies invest in people and then allow these people to do what they need, right? Like they ask them, what would make you happy at work? Being like a chief happiness officer, I think it's important. And you realize that some people, what they will choose is flexibility. Other people will choose to have a laptop at home. Like happiness, it's different for each person. But I think it's important that your manager knows what makes you happy.
Okay, fair enough. Gemma, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, completely agree. Here in Spain, the culture to be in the office and stay a lot of time in your chair is more in the past, and nowadays too, that it's more important for your boss that you are there and not about the hours and the qualification of your task and your job. If I need 5 hours to do my job on my task efficiency, why I have to work 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours? Okay. I hope that in the future and after COVID, this change. Okay. Nowadays, I have 10 years more than Esther, and my child doesn't need me to go to the doctor or something like that. This means that I have a lot of time to be in my task, in my job. Okay, but I know that the other generations, for them, it's very important to have more time to the family, to the children, to play sports or something like that. Okay, the society is changing, and the companies have to know that. And I think this is an important point of view. Okay, the startups here in Barcelona are changing that. New companies are changing that. Okay, but not all the companies. Okay, I think that the companies have to think about it.
Yeah, also, while many startups perhaps have a mentality of allowing for flexibility and work-life balance, or at least work from home balance, they often do not have the resources to pay a salary that is commensurate with your experience. But a lot of them know that already. They take it in because there are people that are interested in doing something new, taking some risks, being part of an exciting project, but it's always difficult to find, at the right time, the different skill mix as well as the interest for both the company as well as the candidates. So this is always kind of tough. But
then I have an idea for those companies. I have an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe they can hire me and pay me just for 30, 32 hours. I may not need to do 40 hours, but with 30 hours, I can engage and do the job in 30 hours. And I think that at the beginning, the companies, they spend a lot of time and energy in training someone that starts at the company, and then in 3 months or the person or the company says, oh no, you're not the right choice. Okay, why 40 hours? Why can we start at 30 and then in some months you ask, do you want to go to 40? Do you want to do less maybe? And understand each person. So that's an idea.
That's
if the company cannot pay,
I'm doing that right now.
Yes.
That's a very good idea. I'm doing that now with somebody who I trusted, and she wants to have her own time to develop her own business, but would like to continue spending time, so she has the flexibility to work wherever she wants. I don't care. But now that I know that she's competent, responsible, can do the job, fantastic. But it's not always very easy to move into that mentality. I've been working remotely from most of my teams, basically since for the last 2024, for the last 24 years. So it's something that there's a mentality that needs to change. And here in Spain, I do think we're a little bit behind when it comes to that type of culture. But before you have a job, you have to get the interview. You have to have the right CV for the role.
Yeah.
And so having a generic CV is not advisable anymore. You need to change it every time for every job that you're doing. And I'd like to get into the subject of dumbing down your resume, your CV, in order to get the first interview and then get hired. Can you talk to us about this, Gemma?
Yes, of course. As I told you, every time I am more and more interested about artificial intelligence, okay? And I use a lot of the GPT, okay? That I encourage everybody to try this intelligence, okay? That can help you a lot with searching a job, okay? And when you find a job position, you can tell to GPT to say, please have a look to this position and let me know which keywords are important. And at the same time, you introduce your CV and told to GPT, try to do your best, match my CV with this offer, and try to, I will be the best in front of the other ones, okay? And that's going on. It's nice to see the way that ChatGPT goes, okay? After that, of course, you have to don't lose the that you are looking for a job that you can do it, okay? Not to apply to all jobs, okay? But give you a lot of information, how to make the best resume, to use that word or the other one, etc. Okay, I think. And I tell to everybody and to the senior people too, because sometimes the people think that senior people, we didn't have knowledge about new technologies, GPT, Canva, Copilot, Gemini, etc. And it isn't true, because at the moment I am studying a lot about that. Also, I am going to do a course of cybersecurity, and I think that these skills are necessary in this moment. No are the future. It's the moment, okay? And I encourage everybody to do that. In Barcelona, you can find a lot of courses that are free, and like Barcelona Activa, Cibernarium, etc., that we will talk about that you can find that help, and these courses and teachers that are from the universities that come to make these courses for free, okay? And it's a good time for you, if you are looking for a job, to invest your time to increase your skills, because it's time that you are giving you to your CV, to your experience, to do networking, to new people. I think it's important. It's very important, the aptitude that you have in front of the situation that you are unemployed, okay? And Esther, sure, that can explain more about the networking, because we meet each other in a session of networking.
Okay, but specifically regarding CV, before we hop into
Yeah.
networking and tips and tricks and so forth, is there something that you can share with us regarding how you have to modify or whether you have to modify your CV?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Esther.
also the languages, that's something that I wanted to work for an American company. So I put my CV in English. I thought it was enough. And I went to Barcelona Activa and they said, no, but you need it in Catalan. So that's something, that's a work that you have to do. And I'm a translator, so it's not like that hard, but you realize that if you have your CV in 4 languages, as I have it now, in English, Spanish, and English and French, you have 4 languages, and every time something you need to modify, it's like a lot of time. So I'm conscious I should do it. I have not done it a lot yet.
When you say you should do it, you mean have your CV in multiple languages, in 4 languages?
That I have it. I've had it for 2 weeks now. So it's I have not done a lot of interviews yet. I am unemployed looking for a job. And those are things that now that it's been some work to have it in 4 languages in a single document, but in 4 languages, where in Canva you can change from one to the other. So I'm quite proud of what I've done. But now knowing that I will have to adapt it for each offer, it's like, no, that this is me. I don't want to take out things from my CV. I want just someone to hire me for who I are. And I don't know if I'm overqualified, but I'm good enough to start tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. So I guess in the scenario where you're saying if you're looking for 2 jobs, you would have to, they're recommending that you have 8 CVs?
I think Gemma has more, right?
Okay.
It's the ban, but there is a reality that everybody have, and it's that we need to pay bills every month. Okay. And you are waiting for your best job, but sometimes you have to realize that you have to pay invoice. And this means that if I have to change some parts of my CV about my before responsibilities or studies, and I have to change it, I do it for this reason, because I eat 3 times a day, and I have to pay my bills. Okay, but this means that okay, if you want this profile of person, I can give you this profile of person. Okay, but so, I am more than that. I am more than a CV.
Okay, excellent. In the job fair where I met you, did you have multiple CVs at that job fair, or did you have one that you were using for all the different companies that were presenting that day?
I didn't use any CV. I didn't use any CV. I only talked with them to talk about what are you doing here, tell me more about your company, and all encourage you to apply inside of the net, inside of their own net that they have apart about employees, and to send a CV.
Okay. Esther, did you use a CV on that day?
Yeah, so I had it with me, but they mentioned go to LinkedIn, look for us, and apply for the position. I spoke to Amazon, and that's what they recommended.
I see. So, 25 years ago when I was looking for a job, I was in Washington, and I just had to take one CV. It was in English, even though they were looking for me to have, international skills, because I had moved there having lived in Barcelona. But now I never really thought about whether or not I'd have to have my CV in multiple languages at one job fair. I could see if I was looking to get a job for a French company, maybe have it in French, or a German company, have it in German. I guess that would make sense to me. But if they're looking to hire people in Spain, even if it's a French or Spanish or American company, that the language in Spain that you would be working in, or lucky for me, I speak English fluently. but there's a lot of companies who look for people who can speak English fluently. I do know that some of the challenges that when I spoke to executive recruiters or just companies in general, people would exaggerate their level of competency in a language, and in particular, English. And Spain had been known to be very behind the Northern European countries in their level of English.
It's true.
And we're still quite behind here, but there have been enormous advances in the last 10 to 15 years in the competencies of the local Catalan and Spaniards in their knowledge of English. I've witnessed it myself, and it makes a big difference at the Metropolitan. So, okay, we covered that. For the people who are listening to you and for you to make an impression on companies, can you talk about some of the tips and tricks that you use in trying to do a job search when you're in Barcelona or Spain?
Yeah, so I will start with LinkedIn, mentioning it again. When I started my job search, I realized that some people wanted to help and say, hey, this company you're looking. I said, no, I want to speak French because I speak French at home. I have a good level of French. So I created a LinkedIn group after meeting with someone at the trade fair in French, saying, hey, we've met here, we've met at the Catalan. So we created a LinkedIn group of French people in Barcelona that are open to work. And we started with a coffee saying, hey, maybe we can do a group. We were 6 at that time. We're 150 people now. In Barcelona Activa, where I also go and practice English because they have courses in there. So that would be good for the international community if they want to do courses in Barcelona Activa. There, with Gemma in January, that's where we met with Gemma in Barcelona Activity at a networking session of Rosaura Lastray. And after that, same thing, there was lunch, and I had mentioned that I had a group of friends. So we created another one called Yes We Can 2040. And we are now 25 people in this group. So it's small, but it's a supporting community. We do coffees and we try to help each other with tips and tricks.
Yes, we can in English?
Yes.
Yes,
it's in English.
Oh, okay. For you're mentioning French and Spanish and Catalan, so I didn't know what language you're doing. Okay, very interesting.
Yes, because in Barcelona Activa, the session they had in December, it was yes we can. So we really, Barcelona Activa, I think they want to attract the international community. That's where we met. And also I see a lot of tricks in hashtags, in using correctly hashtags on LinkedIn. So
what kind of hashtags, for example? Can you give us an example?
For you, it would be, if this week we went to the MBA breakfast, that's a great hashtag, MBA breakfast. Then if you're using it a lot, you can say MBA breakfast May, and then that makes to the people, to that specific May breakfast. Or when I went to Mobile World Congress, that thanks to Barcelona Activa, that's another trick, going to job first, because people have a lot of time in those shows. So we went there, and that was MWC, Mobile World Congress 24. If you use that, you could see real time on LinkedIn people that were posting about being there, and they had time to meet with you. So that's a trick.
Okay, cool. Also, anything that you want to add, Gemma?
Yes, I encourage, and I will tell to everybody that if they have the chance to go to Barcelona Activa and they want to find a good teacher about LinkedIn, because it was the first woman here in Spain that knows about LinkedIn and have a lot of knowledge about that, it's Rosaura Lastray, that explained very clear about how important it's networking. Here in Spain, it's completely different than in the States and in other countries that they are in advance about that. And also in Barcelona Activa, you have the Cibernarium, that if you want to improve your skills in IT, It's a very good place to go, and the courses are free, and there are courses in English also. And there is another one that it's 42 Barcelona by Telefónica, that it's a very interesting project about IT, about cybersecurity, something like that, that each month they make a swimming pool. They say a swimming pool that you are going to pass during a week to stay in this place, where you are going to learn a lot of computerization, cybersecurity, etc. And they have a number of places only for women, okay? Because in IT, there are more men than women, and they realize that and help you a lot to try that the women will be in the same situation as a man, okay? And in 2 weeks, I am going to go to this swimming pool about cybersecurity. The place is enormous, with plenty of max. You have a teacher that gives you only one lesson, but after that, it's a word that you are learning about your college, and you have to prepare a project after. You start in a Monday, and when you finish on Friday, you achieve all the abilities to make a blog, to make a web, or to have all the information on the last information about cybersecurity. And it's completely free. They are located in Barcelona, in Madrid, in Malaga, also in Paris. And I think it's nice that the international company have this information.
Excellent. Okay, well, I wanted to say thank you for mentioning all these great initiatives, because a lot of people are not aware of the classes that are offered at the Cibernarium, at Barcelona Activa, at Lidera, and they do a fantastic job. They really do. I've taken a number of classes there. I think the only restriction is that you have to be a Barcelona resident.
No.
That used to be the case. You have to show that you lived in a provincia de Barcelona. So if you were from Saladié or somewhere else, they used to not let you in. It was only
No. I think that are in the other cities they have other services. So yeah, in San Cugat they have something else. So yeah.
Okay, but if you want to assist to Barcelona Activa, they only ask for your DNI or your card, okay? Nothing else, okay?
Yeah. I think
there are a lot of classes on only online, okay?
Okay.
We can recommend you a course, Victor. I can send you the link, and you can try see if it easily works for your community or not.
Well, I've done a number of them at the Cibernarium, and I'm very impressed, because they get professionals in leading organizations that are actually putting what they're teaching you into practice. So it might be the CIO of a local telecom company, or a pharmaceutical company, or an agency. So they're actually not funcionarios. They're doing their own thing, and they volunteer time to help, I guess, people in the city retrain them skills, upskill themselves. And one of the challenges for the international community for many years was that they didn't do the classes in English. Now they have classes in English, and people should take advantage of this opportunity for people who have lived from the U.S., or the United Kingdom, or Ireland, and they've moved here. They're very proud and happy Catalans or Spaniards now, or Barceloninas, and they fully can understand it. But when you're trying to learn something, you want it in your own language. And now the city offers many of these courses. So I'm very glad that you pointed it out. And similar to this, moving on to, I guess, our final topic is the subject of networking and learning opportunities in Barcelona, which is similar to what we were just talking about now. And I was hoping that you could share some of your experiences, some of your insights and recommendations.
Yes, for me has been so important to meet Esther, and after that making a networking. I can find to know you 3 weeks ago, okay, and now I am here in a life. This means that networking is something that can be exciting and give you a lot of opportunities. I am very happy to be here and to show everybody who is Gemma, more than a CV, more than any word that I can read in my CV or in my LinkedIn. You can feel my confidence, and you can see my face and my attitude, to proactive attitude to help the others.
Okay. Esther, do you have anything to share?
Sure, thank you, Gemma, about that. And I think networking is important. Somehow I realize I have always done it. I've connected people, even if I didn't have any interest, but I like that. And I think that with Barcelona Activa is a great opportunity for learning, and all the things they do in the city with all the trade shows that are happening here, and they organize sessions, and that just because you're registered to that 2 hours with Barcelona Activa at the trade show, you get a free entrance for 3 days. That's great, because that's where people have time when they come to Barcelona. And I think that you can always bring something to that person, even if you're just looking for a job, but you're local, so you're from here, so maybe they don't know where to go for dinner. You can recommend something, and I think that's something that I like about not working right now, because the city has great things to offer Barcelona.
Yes, I completely agree. One of the things, however, that I witnessed is that a lot of times, and in particular, Catalans and Spaniards, when they go to a networking activity, a lot of them are not used to it. And they tend to hang around with the same people most of the event. So they go to meet new people, and yet when they go to the event, they stay with the people that they've already known, or maybe they meet them there, but they're there the whole time with the same people. So they don't always take advantage of being able to meet different companies, different people, different experiences. And there are some people who are really good at breaking the ice. You met one of the person who does a fantastic job is Josie Pont. She's the one who introduced us. And she's a fantastic icebreaker, networker, connector. I love Josie. She's a fantastic woman and always wants to help everybody that she knows. She's just a fantastic woman at heart. But there are other organizations. You said Jessica Breitenfeld. She leads something called Women's Voices at Lidera. Have you been to one of her Lidera workshops?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You should go. I think she does them like every other week. And it's for women only. I was given on 2 occasions exclusivity as the only non-woman to attend. But I do a lot of things with Jessica, and she is a really good person to teach people how to break the ice, because she talks about, among other things, even though in this world of highly connected networking and LinkedIn job searching, still that figure of what percentage of job offers do you find on the net versus people hasn't really changed that much. Connections to jobs and opportunities still come from people that you know. And strangely, a lot of people don't reach out to meet new people. So it's your second degree connections and third degree connections that may be the ones that offer you opportunities. And yet we're very focused on just the small circle that we currently know. And these events, such as the American Society Happy Hour, or the Barcelona FinTech, or the Professional Women's Network, or anything that the Barcelona Women's Network are doing, does a fantastic job at creating opportunities and for you to meet other people. Other ones that I would recommend are, I don't get to go to them because I'm not a woman, but Juno House. Have you been to an event by Juno House? They do a very good job. And then I think Laura Fernandez over at All Tech Women, she's also, that group is doing tremendously interesting subjects that they cover. Also great connections, and women in particular, when they are, I think, really looking for a job opportunity, I think they connect very strongly with other women. And I've been given special privilege sometimes, because if Metropolitan sponsors them, I'm allowed to go because we put up our thing and because we're the sponsors. And I get to watch how women interact with other women at an event. Very different than when there's a mixture of people. In fact, it's actually very, very interesting, and it opens my eyes to some of the challenges and I guess people dynamics that occur when women and men are in the same room, either meeting people or competing. A lot of the mansplaining that goes on, which has got to be incredibly frustrating to women who are highly competent and technically inclined, and people think that they're not, so women don't like technical jobs. Complete lie. There's plenty of really good qualified women in those roles, but it's fantastic to watch these things happen. Is there any group that you particularly like other than Barcelona Activa, because you've been promoting them, and I strongly besides them? What other groups do you go to?
We have the Yes We Can 2024 that we have created ourselves, and we encourage people to come and meet us and go to Barcelona Activa, because that's the requirement we put to get in there. And then people, they have ideas for us. Maybe we could do this. It's so easy to create LinkedIn groups. So that's what we do and what we encourage people to do.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to be doing more stuff. As you know, the Metropolitan Business Association is now getting together on a regular basis. We'll be helping each other find opportunities, be it sales and lead generation, or even work. The other thing that I would recommend is the lady who organized the job fair where I met you, Miriam Marleveld. She does these several times per year, and she's always adding through her platform, the Barcelona Expat Life, a really good opportunities to meet companies that are very international in their perspective. And I think you would find her events fantastic. So if you don't know her, I'm happy to make the introduction. If you do know her,
I met her 2 weeks ago, but I'm happy if you remake the introduction.
Yeah.
I think the event she organized was great, the venue, everything. So I told her, and it was great. And we saw you finally.
That's where we met. But yeah, so if you have a chance, attend whatever Miriam organizes. All her events come out extremely well. There's another group that you guys should probably be aware of. It's called Club Globals. It's run by Mario Palladini, and his events are also. Yeah, Mario Palladini puts these things. He has these crazy green glasses.
Yeah. You meet you make an interview several weeks ago. Yeah, I see.
I see those glasses.
Yes, green glasses.
So he does a lot of event planning, organizing. They're actually doing something in Madrid next week that he invited me to, but I'm doing an event here as well. Unfortunately, on the same night. But yeah, these are all really good opportunities, and a lot of the tech conferences are good places to go, because companies that are going there, many of them have just recently obtained some venture capital, and now they're hiring people to grow their sales or grow their e-commerce. But if you kind of keep on top of who's doing what in which tech conferences, you'll see companies who are hiring. And I have to say, my team does a fantastic job of identifying the different opportunities in fintech. And just because it's fintech and you may not have experience there, that doesn't mean that you don't have good sales skills or e-commerce skills, even if it was outside of that sector. And because fintech is relatively new compared to other sectors, they're happy to hire people who have similar skill sets that they need, even if they're not from that sector. So I'd strongly suggest them. And of course, there's two other organizations that do events on a regular basis. I know you couldn't come yesterday, but there's one called Fuck Up Nights. Fuck Up Nights is fantastic. That's an organization where they share the failures that you've done throughout your career or personal, or you set up a company and it didn't go well for whatever reason. Really good organization to go to, because people are talking about the failures, and it's subject, and particularly in Spain, Europe is less open to it than in the United States. But even in the United States, it's not really everybody wants to talk about where they screwed up. They always like to talk about the great things that they've done. But we're a little bit more open to it. This organization was founded in Mexico City, and it has gone crazy. It's all over the place. I recommend Fuck Up Nights. And then, of course, one that I've been volunteering at for the last 8 years is the Barcelona Startup Grind Barcelona. And there we do every month for the last 10 years. I don't think we've missed a single month where we haven't done an event in the last 10 years, and sometimes we've done 2 events. We bring a relatively well-known entrepreneur or an investor who has success, and our chapter director usually leads the discussion with that person, and then afterwards we have networking, and then we drink beer and empanadas. And we do this every month. I strongly recommend that you go to it because there's a lot of founders there. There are companies, some of them are very small, but there are actually some really large and very successful. You might call them startups, but they're really scale-ups at this point. They might have 100 or more employees, and they're growing quickly. Good places to go to. And then one final one, I don't go to it because they always do their events at the same time that I have another one. Have you been to Tech Barcelona?
No.
Okay, another one. They're over by the pier, Portobello. That big building where they have the Museum of Catalonia history at the top. Well, in that building, I think it's Pier 1 now, is Tech Barcelona, and it's packed with companies that are doing really interesting things, and they do events on a regular basis. I would strongly recommend that you go to them, and I know the organizers of those events, so you can talk to me afterwards, and I'll put you in direct contact with the people who are organizing these events. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Barcelona, and people should avail themselves of all these different opportunities to meet new people, meet new companies. And I don't have any other questions. Is there something that you would like to share while I have you here?
No. Thank you very much for all the information that you give to us. Yeah, thank you very much. We have prepared an infography, and if you want to share with the community about tricks, something like that we made for everybody to make a summarize about the trick and tips that we gave us. And thank you very much. And I realized that I have to learn more and more every day.
Yeah, you gave us a lot of tips and tricks also, so we have a list of things to do, and we're happy to share the link to our groups if anyone wants to know more. So thank you, Victor.
Thank you very much,
gràcies
Victor.
per estar amb nosaltres avui. Ens tenim que ajudar, tot el món.
Sí, tothom.
Yeah.
I'm thinking tout
Let's help each other, yes.
Je ne peux parler en français comme vous, mais parce que je n'ai personne avec qui je peux pratiquer pendant...
Très bon accent.
Mais
bravo.
Je veux accompagner. Okay, when I learned Catalan, it destroyed my French.
How many languages do you speak, Victor? You speak English, French, Catalan, Spanish? 4 languages?
Catalan. Okay.
Well, I can order my food and I can insult you in Mandarin. Now, if you answer me, if you're the waiter or the waitress and you answer me, I probably don't know what you're saying, but I can order it.
That's good. You let us know how you learn Mandarin someday.
Okay. I don't drink alcohol. I usually don't. And so if you ever want to take me out and I drink 1 glass of wine, just 1 glass of wine, I start singing Whitney Houston songs, and I can even do it in German. With little I drink, I'm a very fun, happy, singing drunk. So we'll have to get to know each other at one of these happy hours.
Okay, happy hour.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ladies. Have a fantastic weekend, cap de semana, and we will be in touch soon. I want to see you at more events, and thank you for your time today, your tips and your tricks.
Thank you.
Happy Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Actually, can you stay with me after we hang up here?
Yeah, of course.